Jam. Toon Jam.
Ho, ho, ho! And Merry Christmas! And welcome to Toon Jam. I am Matt.
And I'm J-Man.
And today, we are super festive and talking about everybody's festive favourite, Justice League. But not just any Justice League. It's a certain episode titled Comfort and Joy. That's right, everyone. It is a festive episode of the Justice League. And why not? You know, we're all in this world. Christmas, is pretty universal. Whether you believe in it or not, the sentiment is not. So let's talk about Justice League before we dive in. Justice League is an animated television series which ran from 2001 to 2004 on Cartoon Network. It's a part of the DC Animated Universe, or the DCAU. The show was produced by Warner Brothers Animation. It is based on the Justice League of America and associated comic book characters published by DC Comics. It serves as a prequel to Batman Beyond. After 2 seasons, the series was rebranded as Justice League Unlimited, a successor series which aired for 3 seasons. Bruce Timm co-produced the Batman animated series as well, and Superman was the producer on this series. The roster consisted of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, the Jon Stewart version, The Flash, the Wally West version, Martian Manhunter, and Hawk Girl. 2 of which aren't in this episode, so Batman and Wonder Woman nowhere to be seen. There's a brief mention of Batman, but otherwise it's a no-go. According to audio commentary on the DVD release of Season 2, the second season finale, titled Starcrossed, was expected to be the final episode of the series. However, in February 2004, Cartoon Network announced a follow-up series, Justice League Unlimited, which premiered on July 31st, 2004, featured a larger roster of characters. So this was like characters from all across the DC universe doing their time in the Justice League. There was planned originally to be a film in between, an animated film. However, this got cancelled. However, it was later remade as Crisis on Multiple Earths, or Infinite Earths, one of those. And I can tell you exactly what it is. It is Crisis on 2 Earths, so, quite far off from Infinite Earths. But they removed all references to the continuity of the DC animated universe. So there you go. Do you want to hear some fun facts?
Don't we always?
Don't we always? When Superman and John first arrive at the Kent's house in Smallville, Clark still has his styled curl hanging from his forehead, but is dressed as Clark Kent. In the next frame, it returns to a normal hairstyle he wears as Clark. What a slip up, eh? Oh boy. And here's another one for you. This is actually the final appearances of Ultra Humanite and Martha and Jonathan Kent in the DC animated universe.
Really?
Yeah. So this is it. No more of those guys.
How weird.
The episode pays tribute to John's fondness of Oreo cookies, which is well established in the comics. Yeah. Hawk Girl's welcome to the alien bar in the episode is reminiscent of the traditional greeting from Norm Peterson on the television series Cheers. The fun never ends. And I think this is probably the best one. This episode establishes the fact that the Kents wrap their presents in lead to prevent X-ray vision peaking, like lead foil. And it's because of that and thanks to his parents, that Superman still believes in Santa Claus. True believer.
Yeah.
So there you go. Some fun facts for you there.
That is pretty good. I did like that they were like lead lead-wrapped presents.
I mean, where do you get that? That's surely like a very specific.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're down on like a blacklist somewhere that like Clark Kent's dad's like a terrorist or something
Yeah.
because he's just seasonally buying up all this like lead.
Maybe that's why he's never in it again.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he got taken by the
He
authorities.
got run board.
We know about your lead ring, bro.
Some more sort of, I'd say. Well, we'll go into it in a minute. Did you watch Justice League as a young sprout?
As a young Brussels sprout.
As a young Brussels sprout at Christmas.
Yeah, I did see a handful of episodes. I didn't watch a lot of it as much as I liked it. It was just one that I never really caught for whatever reason. But when it was on, I did watch it. But probably not a great deal of episodes. So what about you?
Yeah, I was the same. I really liked it, but it was just I watched it on Cartoon Network, and it was just on like for a bit. It was on at 5, I think, or 4 when you got home from school.
Yeah.
And then they did the classic, like, oh yeah, tomorrow it's on at 2. Then the day afterwards it's on at 9, and then after that it's on Tuesday again.
Yeah. Just like what?
I don't understand.
No.
So, yeah, I didn't manage to cling on to it, but yeah, the ones that I did really like it, and it was sort of for me my first introduction to the Green Lantern, because it was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Especially because I think the Justice League always seemed to be bigger in America.
Yeah.
Than it, I guess, because they're the Justice League of America. But over here, it was like this was the first time I'd ever heard of the Justice League.
Yeah, same man.
So yeah, it was pretty like it was like, oh, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. These are big characters.
Yeah.
And then you sort of see them all, and then yeah, it was just like your first introduction to many of them. So it was pretty cool. I did really like it, but yeah, I didn't catch much of it.
The first supergroup really, like that I'd probably ever come across of like anything. Like before bands and stuff, it was like, these guys, like they're all really good on their own, but then they put them together as well. Wow!
Oh boy!
How does that work?
Just you, yeah. But yeah, so you've got your all your main characters, and they did some pretty cool things with the design. So like Batman. Obviously, this takes it is in the same universe as Batman the animated series and the Superman animated series. So what they did with Batman is they used the same design from the later episodes of the Batman animated series, but they changed it slightly so that his ears were larger.
Yeah,
which I always thought was a bit weird. But then it was to make it look more like the Batman Beyond costume.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it was to sort of bridge that gap. And I think there's an episode that it actually covers like how Terry McGinnis is actually, spoiler alert, Batman's son.
Oh
boy. Spoiler alert is, so, if you didn't know that and you were just watching through these episodes, I gave you a moment. I'm sorry.
And that was it. That was what you had.
Yeah, I did pause. I paused as well. I said spoiler alert.
You said spoiler alert, so that was your chance to turn it off if you were afraid.
Whoa!
He's going to leak information about
He's
Terry.
He's going to leak it. Yeah, so, it's only been out for 16 years, I know, but hey-ho. But yeah, so there's cool stuff in it like that. Apparently Superman, they designed him to look a little bit older.
Yeah.
Early on, but then people didn't like it, so they changed it. Then there's Green Lantern and Hawkgirl are a thing. That's a little couple going on. And then Batman and Wonder Woman also had a bit of a sort of romance.
All right.
But I don't think nothing ever happened, but it was always like a will they, won't they relationship.
Yeah, that seems like most of Batman's relationships are just like...
Yeah, basically.
He's just too damaged to actually make anything happen.
He's way too dedicated to his cause. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, today, comfort and joy. This is a Christmas themed episode. So straight off the bat, did you feel festive?
There was some moments when I was like, oh yeah, it's cozy. I think I felt cozy
Yeah,
at the
I
Superman
was,
household.
I was expecting something along the lines of, that Buzz Lightyear episode we watched.
Yeah, where it's just like, what?
Where it's just,
Like,
they've just used a load of Christmas things, but
there's snow and they say the word Santa about 3 times, and
yeah,
that's about it.
yeah. But no, it's more like, it's quite nice. It has three. Is it 3 or 4 separate storylines?
I think it's
3. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's Superman and Martian Manhunter,
Yeah.
Green Lantern and Hawk Girl,
hmm
and the Flash,
Yeah.
and I guess Ultra Humanite.
Mm.
So the Flash is basically Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
You got this whole. He's trying to get this like robo rapping gangster duck that farts.
Yeah.
And he finally manages to get it, and then he has to fight Ultra Humanite, and then knocks him over and crushes it.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, he gives up on everything, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because I should explain, he's getting it for these. I mean, are the kids orphans?
I think they are. Yeah. I think they're meant to be.
They're not like in a hospital or anything, or a.
No, I think that's just an orphanage that they're in, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
but it's like they're pretty relaxed about it. Like it's not turning up like the emotions too much, is it? It's just
No.
like, oh, there's no, you can't see any parents about or anything, but
It doesn't really say it, does it? But you kind of
no,
it's
yeah,
more
you kind of
just-
have to figure it out.
Yeah, like the Flash visits the orphans every Christmas.
Yeah, I
And the
mean, unless
Flash.
that old lady just had like 8 kids or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
So he visits this large family, and then and he's gutted because he wants to give them the toy because that's the toy they want. So Ultra Humanite actually, he actually has a heart
Yeah.
under all that villainousness. And I didn't really know much about Ultra Humanite.
No, I don't know much about him at all.
You see him every now and again, but he's like one of them characters that you just see in the background. So in this, you kind of get you get the gist of him. He's a highly evolved human who is essentially just a gorilla with a massive brain.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was like a weird version of Gorilla Grodd when he first turned up, because like Flash had mentioned talking like Gorilla Grodd, hadn't he? Like Like it was easier taking him down than it was finding this toy.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. Put the cookie down, man.
I'm Turbo Flash. So yeah, and then basically the gist of it, Ultra Humanite actually mends the toy.
Yeah.
And then, air quotes, makes it better.
Yeah.
So he swaps out the hilarious gangster farting and then puts his own voice in it, and he tells the story of the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
And at first it's like, oh, you've ruined it, but then the kids like it, and it's awful.
Yeah, so they're just like, oh, okay, well done.
And then the end was really nice when he still goes to jail. Don't let him off.
Yeah.
But then he gives him a little Christmas tree. And he really likes it.
Yeah, he's really
Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's an aluminium Christmas tree, or as we've discussed, this was, I think, was it in the Charlie Brown one?
Yeah.
Aluminum.
The aluminum tree.
Aluminum tree.
But he does something different as well, doesn't he? Like wax. He's got like a little laser or something.
Yeah, a little disco
wax that on,
thing.
and then it just turns into disco ball.
Which and then you start to think, I wonder if that's what they're about.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and then you want one now.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's way better than like having to put all the lights on and stuff.
Yeah,
like
you just put that on it.
It's genius.
Yeah.
How did I not know this?
I'd say the weakest of the 3 stories is the Green Lantern Hawk Girl one.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts off all right. They have like a snowball fight. She doesn't really understand that.
Yeah.
He's there like, it starts. They're on this snow planet, aren't they?
Mm.
And they say, and then he's like, I'm going to stay here. And you think, oh, Green Lantern's sad.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'll catch up with you guys.
Mm.
And then you see him and he's like snowboarding.
Yeah.
Like, woohoo! Yeah, and then they have a snowball fight and he's, talking about that. And then she's like, I don't get it. Don't like Christmas. But I tell you what I do like. There's this one place. And then they basically go to, some sort of Star Wars-esque gangster planet.
Yeah.
And go and have a bar fight.
Yeah, which seems really weird.
Yeah. And it kind of is a bit, it's a bit strange.
It doesn't really culminate in anything either, does it?
No.
There's no real, like, it doesn't really wrap things up in any way.
It kind of just ends, like, she gives him a kiss while he's asleep.
Yeah, while they're both, like, he's probably knocked out from the fight. Basically, everyone's exhausted. And the place is a wreck, and then, like, that's it. It's just like she gives him a kiss on the face. He doesn't even know because he's KO'd.
So I guess that's just kind of further in their love story, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the idea that it was, it kind of made you think about, like, well, why do we like snow so much? That, like, just kind of being like, it's kind of weird that we, people fight all the time.
Yeah,
like, that's mainly what you do with snow, is like fight other people. He did build a snowman and stuff.
Yeah, he did snow angels as well, didn't he?
Yeah, but
obviously, she's got real wings, so
exactly, yeah. But yeah, it does make you think, like, that is kind of weird that we do that. But and then
it's just a way of fighting that where, most of the time people don't get hurt.
Yeah, but someone always does.
Yeah. Put stones in it or something. I remember.
That's it. Or like, it's one of those snowballs that's just been like cooked almost, and then
well, how weird is it? Do you remember at school, like in primary school, snow was like so fun. But if it snowed at secondary school, it was like a war zone.
Yeah. It
was horrible.
Yeah.
Like trying to get in the building and you just get like pelted at the door.
Oh man.
And then I remember like sort of the rough kids would either put stones in it or shards of ice.
Oh man, yeah.
Just, I mean, what changes?
It's just too much. Life happened to them and they became violent. Yeah, and it's always like, that ball that's just essentially just a block of ice. It's
been smoothed over so much.
Yeah, and so when it hits you in the face, it doesn't like crumble into powder. It just like basically just hurts your skull, and then you spend the rest of the day sore.
And if you're lucky, Hawk Girl will give you a kiss.
Yeah, that's the moral of that story.
And then, of course, there's the Superman and Martian Manhunter, and Martian Manhunter doesn't really get Christmas because he's always the alien.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's very much like Superman, but very different because he's green.
Yeah. Everyone
knows he's an alien, but he can transform, but it's just not the same. Yeah.
He could be the same, but he chooses not to be.
But I suppose it's that message where he's not himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas Superman, he looks like himself.
Yeah.
It's his powers are different. Whereas Martian Manhunter isn't. And then he's kind of going around learning what Christmas is. And then this girl was like in a window, like, oh, please let Santa Claus come and prove my brother wrong.
Yeah.
Just let him eat some of my cookies or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's like, ooh, yum yum yum.
Yeah, takes it upon himself to just eat some cookies. Yeah. Which is pretty
I'm surprised he only had one.
I know, yeah, same there. I thought that whole plate was going.
Yeah. They never finish it, do they?
No. I don't know why.
No.
Like, oh, you need evidence that there was cookies there in the first place or something. Weird.
Like, they usually have like a bite mark.
It's like, what? That doesn't make sense.
No.
But yeah, then he gets a gift when he goes back, doesn't he? And they give him Mark Kent gives him a sweater.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like, it's a bit big, and he's like, don't worry, I can grow into it.
Yeah.
And then literally just goes.
Yeah.
And I think my favourite bit was at the very end. I mean, you can see it's pretty funny when he goes back and he sees Superman like trying to look at his presents.
Mm.
Just like under the chair. But then you hear some sort of weird music in the morning.
Yeah.
And they're all like, and he said he doesn't give us a present, like just standing at the door listening to like some weird Martian tones.
Yeah.
Like,
I had to excuse me. I had to rewind it at that point because I was like, what has just happened? Like
he's there stroking a cat in the window.
Yeah. I thought I'd missed something.
I want that song. I think that's next Christmas #1.
It was really weird, like because it was kind of quiet as well. So
yeah,
like I couldn't really. I was like, what?
Because they put some weird effect on it, like echoey, like hello you.
He's just looking super Martian in the window, and the cat looks extra long for some reason.
Yeah,
like the cat looks Martian.
It was good. I like that as an ending because that was the ending of the whole episode.
Yeah, well. Just like there you go. What?
That I think yeah. So I mean, 2 out of 3 good stories though, and they were Christmassy.
Yeah,
I did feel festive, and I felt like as hilarious as the song was, it was like, oh, that's nice,
Yeah,
and it brings around that universal feeling of Christmas. And I know, like, so for me, I'm not religious, and I'm sure there's many people like me that still celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
Just because it is that time to be kind to one another, and it's all those values of it which are worth celebrating. That are nice, and I think this does have a nice way of showing you that that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And you think, oh yeah, that's good. It's a good way. But then most of the things we've watched so far this year, we've had some good values thrown at us, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Also, another weird thing, 2 where Christmas has concluded in jail as well. That's like a running theme now. It's just like jail Christmas is the new thing.
Yeah, I mean, it brings back, as we said last week, the realities of some people's situations.
Weird. I mean, what is Christmas like in jail? Like, is there like a ceasefire of like gangs and stuff?
I don't know. Yeah.
Do they have a generally good time in comparison to the rest of the year, or what?
Yeah, that's the thing. I really don't know. Apparently, according to the cartoons, it's a good time.
People want to go there. Yeah, it's then,
going back to Ultra Humanite. So he's basically trashing a museum, isn't he? And it's like an art museum, and he's basically saying how angry he is or the public funding that goes on the art.
Yeah.
And it does make you think, as much as we're both believers in art.
Yeah.
And then you think, like, actually, some of it, it's like that money, should it go somewhere different? After watching the Pink Panther one,
yeah.
And you really think, like, maybe Ultra Humanite is partially right.
But then also he's like, well, send me to prison, which is where other public money goes. So,
so he's
not quite clear on that.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Didn't quite right. Yeah. I mean, he got his aluminium drink. So that was his wrap up there, I think. But yeah, I know
which ironically looked a lot like some of the art.
Yeah, it did. I know, that's the thing. Well, I think the art world itself, it needs a bit of a read.
Yeah, it
It's
needs some
a
sort of reassessment.
questionable industry, isn't it? At the best of times. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, there's good stuff like this is an art form, you know,
Yes,
like
of course.
animation.
And of course, if you wish to fund us, you can do so on our Patreon. But
Yeah,
it's not
of
like,
course.
we're asking for the amount that some of these things ask for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, would you rather send an ultra humanite to jail or get a Toon Jam t-shirt? That's what you got to ask
Yeah,
yourself.
that's what you got to ask yourself.
Those are the two choices that we're all faced with at one point in our life. Um, so yeah, it's something to throw in there. I think that's what's good about I mean mainly like the writing team and stuff on Justice League and a lot of the DC stuff is like they do throw you like little curveballs and stuff, and
Yeah.
there's always things to kind of think about. Like even like we were saying with the snow and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, I guess I've never really thought of it that way like before. And
Yeah.
you've got all these characters that you know quite well, really. And well, I think a lot of people think they know well, at least.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and so, like managing to put them in situations where it's like it's completely new, and you end up thinking outside of the box, or I
And
think
it's
that's what
like,
makes it so good.
yeah, there's something about like seeing, when you see these characters that pretty much every week they're fighting someone and, doing their job.
Hmm.
And these episodes are always nice because you just see them like, how do they kick back?
Yeah, yeah, because
And
it's
you
something
really,
you don't really see, is it?
yeah, it's proper character stuff. And I think that's always what's good about a Christmas special,
Yeah,
especially in these type of things. Because if you read comics and stuff, when they do a Christmas special, it can be quite nice because it's always that, you know, usually it's a time for reflection.
mm,
These kind of characters where it's like, well, maybe it's the only time of the year where a lot of people actually think about being compassionate and things
yeah,
like that. So, you know, it's the time when people actually start to reflect on their own, place. Otherwise, if it was, say, October, it's like, shut up,
mm.
you know, what
Yeah,
one? I do it how I do it. I'm me. Love me for who I am. Then it comes to Christmas and you're like, yeah,
yeah.
you know what? You're right. New year, new me.
Yeah, it is weird that we need a specific month set aside
I
to be
know.
able to do that. Don't know why that is, but I guess that's something else we need to explore.
Well, on that note, shall we head over to our reviews?
Yes.
This Christmas, why don't you sit by the fire and join the latest compilation by none other than Jean Jeans, the Martian Manhunter in Shalandu Christmas. Songs such as The First Shalandu, 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 Vashalamuna, Vashalanadu.
And who can forget, of course, Shalandu Rock. Shalandu, Shalandu, Shalandu Rock. Shalandu Ro and Shalandu She Bodo Shalandu, Shalandu She. Do the Shalandu, Shalobay.
And of course, joy to the Shalandu. Joy to the Shalandu, Shalandu Gunavu, Valana Shalandu, Vana Shalandu Lavu, Valana Shaladu Navu, La Shalapalanu, Valana Shalanavu, Shalabana Lapananu, La Shalandu.
And who can forget the contemplative Oh Shalandu? Oh Shalandu, Shaladudu, Shalandu, Shaludu, Shaludaduda, Shaludanu, Shaladunana, Shalanandu.
And of course, everybody's favorite, Good King Shalandu. Good King Shalandu looked out on the feast of Shalandu. Shalandu valana sha, shana valana du, shalavanada shu, shanda vala huna, huva ba, bamba shu, vandalana shu vala.
And if you love the upbeat ones, you'll love Last Shalandu. La shalandu shalandatu ana shaladandu daru kamuratu shalu dadu dadu the shalamanandu nebu.
And of course, the classic, the Shalandu of the bells. Va shalandu, 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 wala vana shalan, wala vana shalan, shalala van shalandu, jumpa van shalandu, shalala dan shalavana van tada shalalandu, va
Shala 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 shalandu, shala 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 shalandu, shala 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 shalandu, shala 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 shalandu.
shalandu.
It's The Shalandu Christmas by John Judds.
Okay, so here at Toon Jam we have a 3-point rating system. It goes as follows. Thumbs up. Oh boy, it's a Shalandu Christmas. Thumbs down. It's art galleries in general, what like with Ultra Humanite, not the guy to go with. And shaky middle, Prison at Christmas.
We just don't know at this point.
We just don't know. So good, bad, I'm not really sure. So Justice League, Comfort and Joy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think most Christmas episodes of stuff where it's usually a sort of, I guess it's a semi-serious lineup a lot of the time. It's like you kind of never sure where it's going to go, but I think these guys managed to pull some good stuff together. I mean, I didn't really get the the Hawk Girl and Green Lantern one as much, but like I say, it even made me think, snowball fights, they're weird. So there's at least that. And it did feel cozy at the Kent household. They had their little hot cocos and they were all in their sweaters and generally just being pleasant to each other all the time. And then of course, like Flash on a Jingle All the Way hype. I mean, it's quality stuff, whether it's Flash or whether it's Arnie. So it's one of those things. But yeah, I think there was enough Christmas in there, and it did have those extra bits where it's like, Flash is essentially, he's not thinking about himself. He's trying to help out the orphans, and pretty much everyone is trying to introduce a good side of Christmas to somebody else, and that's essentially what's happening throughout the episode, which is that's heartwarming in itself, I suppose. So I think there was enough there. It was interesting enough, and it didn't have anyone acting completely out of touch, just for a Christmas episode or anything like that. So I think it's a thumbs up from me. I mean, I don't really know what else they could have kind of added in that would have made it more Christmassy. I mean, they even had Prison Christmas, which is, as we know, on the rise. It's a very it's a controversial but interesting subject. So thumbs up from me.
Thumbs up. Okay. Well, yes. I mean, like you say, there's definitely a weaker story to it, but there's always going to be, I suppose, when you've got more than one story going on. And the more I think about it, the more Turbo Man is like the Flash.
Yeah,
he's literally called Turbo Man. His suit's pretty much the same. He has a jetpack, that's the only difference. But and then when you really think about it, Ultra Humanite is like the bad guy with the big brain.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was actually
a spoof on Jingle.
Yeah. It could be. Who knows? I've not seen it in any fun facts anywhere, but maybe we discovered that similarity ourselves.
Yeah, if only they had like a Sinbad character.
I know, yeah. That would have been spot on. But yes, it was even though it was definitely a new take. It was like the premise was the same, but the outcome was very different. And the John one, that was really the that was the Christmas one. The Flash was like telling you about how, you know, the commercial side of stuff.
Yeah.
I guess. And then you know, you've got the sort of the Green Lantern Hawk Girl one. It's more about, I guess, you know, other people at Christmas and how Christmas is not, you know, not everyone celebrates it. And
yeah, or they celebrate it in different ways, I guess. Like,
yeah,
that was the redneck Christmas.
exactly, yeah. and but that's, I mean, and I guess it does make you think about that, and the fact that it makes you think about that is a good thing. But it's a good episode because it is a good Christmas episode. I did feel like very Christmassy afterwards, like, oh yeah. It does have some excellent Martian music in. I don't know if there's any other Martian music in any of the other episodes, and more than anything, it was also a good episode of the Justice League. And it's the only episode that's not a multiple parter.
Yeah.
But it's got everything that, you know, we've seen before in like Batman and stuff like that. Those episodes that do have a lot of heart, and you kind of think, oh, yeah, you know, like that's why these superheroes are popular, because they're not just, you know, going around punching people. They're, you know, there's human aspect to them as well.
Definitely.
And just little things like seeing Superman still trying to peek at his presents. It's just like nice little touches. So yeah, it's a thumbs up from me too. So there you go, 2 thumbs up, not too shabby. I've got to say, you know, we haven't had a thumbs down since Dungeons and Dragons.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're doing pretty well. Almost too well, you might say.
Oh no.
It's you know, odds are things could turn. But this Christmas has been a pretty good one. I think last year was a mixed bag, as I remember.
Yeah, I remember it being quite mixed.
Half and half. Well, really, I just remember the Peanuts one being good. Charlie Brown. And then I think Garfield one was okay.
Yeah, I don't even remember the other two, to be honest.
Well, one was the Buzz Lightyear one.
Oh yeah, Buzz Lightyear, which we mentioned earlier, but I'm perpetually trying to forget, apparently.
So yeah, that says it all, really. But yeah, so far we've had a pretty good festive month. And do you know what? Like, usually I'm kind of like, as much as, you know, I personally love Christmas. By the end of Christmas month on Toon Jam, you're like, I'm kind of glad it's not Christmas month anymore. It's usually a bit like the opposite of spooky month. Yeah. However, this year it's put me in festive spirits in a year that we truly need it. Let's be honest, all of us. So join us again next week for our last festive episode. As always, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. But you thought we'd forgot to say it, but no.
Merry. We saved it till the end. And then Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes, Merry Christmas to one and all. Hope you do have a great one. We'll hopefully catch you again before the big day. So tune in there. If you like what you heard, please feel free to rate and review us. It gives us more of a scope for people to find us and stuff like that. So it really helps us out. It will be a wonderful Christmas present to us. If you're looking for stocking fillers, you can head over to our Toon Jam store, and there's you know, Toon Jam t-shirts and all sorts of Toon Jam products, including many of our wonderful sketches that you no doubt enjoy thoroughly. You know, references to those. All great stocking fillers for the ones you love, or for yourself, more likely. You can also head over to our Patreon if you want some bonus episodes. But otherwise, thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do so on the 3 prisons of the internet: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Toon Jam Pod. And we're always happy to have a little chinwag or whatever. And if you just want to follow us. So thank you again, and until next time, stay festively jammy.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to help the show keep going, you can be extra jammy by heading over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/toonjampod. Here you can get a shout out on the show or unlock bonus episodes. Ratings and reviews anywhere you listen to the podcast also really help us out. So thank you, and stay jammy.